Hi, before we start this ASMR video, I'd like to thank all these members on my Patreon for their continued support. If you're looking for any content that I create on other platforms, check the link below. Now, let's get into the video. Sometimes we can get down on ourselves and we need to reflect on that moment. We can feel depressed. We can feel anxiety, a mixed bag of emotions that sometimes can bring us down deep into a hole that we have no way of getting out of. So I'd like to just remind you of a couple things that you can do when you're feeling down, either based on circumstances in your life, the environment, the weather, or a variety of other things. Are you ready? Good, let's get into it a little bit more. Anxiety is just a crippling fear of something that we foresee happening in the future. We have this premonition where we foresee in our imagination something that goes wrong. This causes anxiety. This causes stress. This causes us to spiral. And sometimes, most times, if not all times, it's based on something that's not actually going to happen. It's our body's response mechanism to stop us from feeling uncomfortable. But why are we feeling uncomfortable over something that's not actually happening at that exact moment? Why is it that we think ahead to the worst possible outcome, yet we don't think about the best possible outcome? Society, unfortunately, has trained us to think the worst, to put any type of positive affirmation on the back burner and only focus on the negative. And that's not your fault. It's actually social media, the news, our family, our friends. Just think about it for a second. When you turn on the TV, if you watch the news, what do you see? Negative news. You don't really hear of positive news. And if you do, it's at a minimal, very short segments, and usually at the very end of the newscast. That's because negative news sells. People buy into fear, which causes anxiety, which causes you to overthink, which causes you to spiral. causes you to go down a deep hole that you have trouble getting out of. And remember, that's not your fault. Think about your friends. Think about your family. At the dinner table, when you're out for a coffee, at the pub, or going for a hike. Most people will talk about the negative things that are happening in their life. Few and far between will you talk about the good things. Because we've been trained to feel bad for talking about things going well in our life. Like we shouldn't be excited to talk about the things that are going well. And we should dwell and speak about the things that are going negative, that are not going well. And this reinforces a bad habit. It reinforces in your brain that negative news is worthy of being talked about. But I can guarantee you, it's not. What does it solve? What comes of it if you talk about negative stuff? The only thing that's negative is your mood afterwards, because you focused and spoke about something that didn't need to be spoken about. Do you know the acronym for fear? That's FEAR. False expectations appearing real. That comes back to the anxiety part. You have a speech coming up, and what do? You panic. You think about the worst thing that can happen. And 99% of the time, it doesn't. You have these false expectations that appear real in your head that can ultimately set you up for failure if you let it. Why not change the script? Why not think about the good things that can happen, the positive things that can happen from giving that speech? The people that will clap, the people that will smile, the people that will talk about that speech after you've given it. Think about this. When you're walking down the street on a sidewalk and there is an individual that is walking towards you, immediately you will think about what they think about you. Does your hair look good? Is your makeup great? Are you wearing the correct pair of jeans to the shirt? Does your outfit match? You'll pass them by, but you'll never know what they were thinking. And it doesn't matter. Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because that exact person that was walking towards you was thinking the exact same thing. This may sound harsh to say, but nobody cares about you to that extent except yourself. Everybody, and I mean everybody, judges themselves 100 times more harder than any other individual will. Most people will try and find the good in you. You have your picture taken. Someone looks at it and says, "Wow, that looks incredible. Your smile looks so good." You'll look at the photo and say, "My cheeks look fat. My arm's in such a weird position." Truth be told, is in a weird position. We are so self-critical of ourselves. And it causes anxiety. It causes stress. It causes depression. It changes the chemistry in our neural pathways in our brain. It makes us feel like we're not worthy. It makes us feel like nothing is worth it. And I can assure you that there are so many things that are worth it, including yourself. You just have to believe that you are worth it. You have to scrub your brain of all those negative interactions that you've ever had and how you've let them affect you in such a way that now anytime something positive happens, you believe or think that there has to be something negative about it as well, when there isn't. It's a positive. Just because something goes well doesn't mean that something on the back end has to be negative. That's just what we've been taught to believe. That nothing can go good 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row. We're always expecting that something bad is going to happen. And yes, that is part of who we are as humans. From back in the day, always in fight or flight mode, reacting to something that could happen. But you're not going to get attacked by a tiger. You're not going to get eaten by a hippo or mauled by a lion. You're sitting in your office in an air-conditioned room on your computer, the sunlight coming down on you. So why focus on the negative thing that won't happen? Why put that thought in your brain in the first place? Yes, some of our ancestral traits are there. But look at the life that you live compared to what they lived. There's no more danger. So don't let it feed into your life. I want you to try an exercise next time you feel or think about something negative happening. A thought, an emotion, whatever it may be. I want you to stop. I want you to think about what will happen. Go ahead, think about that negative thing. But I want you to crush that thought once you've thought about it. You're going to go up on stage, you're going to talk. You have this crippling anxiety, this fear of false expectation appearing real, that you're going to mess up and everyone's going to laugh at you. Well, that's not going to happen. You're going to give the speech. You may fumble a word or two, but nobody's listening to that. Nobody cares that you said a instead of ah. That's us being self-critical on ourselves. So when you have that thought, when it enters your brain, by all means, let it. That's healthy. But squash it, crush it, throw it away. And then fill your brain with at least 3 things positive that will happen when you're giving that speech. You're going to go up there. You're going to speak a spectacular speech. People are going to be attentive. They're going to be looking at you, eyes open, watching you. And then when it's over, they're going to clap. They're going to stand and clap. And when you walk off the stage, people will want to shake your hand and give you such a magnificent speech. That's realistically what's going to happen. Not this make-believe situation where everything has to go wrong. So next time you have a negative thought, take it in. Don't shut it out. That's your brain's mechanism trying to scare you into something that you've been taught to think. Let it in. Squash it. And think of 3 good things in place of that negative. Repetition. It's a lot easier said than done. And you may not even do that. You may just forget that you ever watched this video, and you may just ignore any advice that I may give. That's totally in your prerogative to do. But on the off chance that you do this, that next scenario that comes along, that you let it in, think about it, squash it, crush it, and throw it out. Bring those 3 thoughts in, and then proceed with that action. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was a positive correction. It takes 21 days to build a habit, and it takes 3 days to crush it. It takes 7 times longer to build a positive habit than it does to break it. Let that sink in. That shows how incredibly hard it is to create a routine that can be seen as a positive. So remember that. It's not easy, because if it was, everybody would do it. Nobody would have anxiety. Nobody would have depression, mood swings. Next time the news is on, turn it off. Next time you find yourself or catch yourself reading or watching a negative post on social media, swipe away. Close the app. Look for something positive. Learn something new about yourself. I hope that when this video ends, that you can take some of these opinions of mine, advice, and put them to play, put them to use. That's my hope, that's my dream for you. I'd love for you to come back to this video in a year's time and leave a comment and let me know just how much your life has actually changed because you did this small little thing, and how it compounded on itself day over day, week over week, month over month, until you got to a year, and how much your life has drastically changed for the good to the bad, because you spent the time watching this video and learning something new about yourself that maybe you didn't think about. So, when this is over, I want you to think of a negative thing. I want you to try it. I want you to squash it. I want you to throw it out. And I want you to think of 3 good things that could have come from that negative thought. Brushing your teeth. We know it's good for us, but I'm lazy. Well, what happens when you crush that thought of being lazy? You get up, you take some steps, you're walking, you burned a couple calories, your teeth are now clean, you're not going to get a cavity. Simple, 3 little positive things. Start small, work your way up. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.